like, I mean, you've mentioned, the responsibility of helping players to take their game to the next level, especially if they want to play at the international level. So, what fundamentals do you believe must be mastered at this stage?
That's obviously the fundamentals is an interesting one. People think nowadays that, the CLA approaches and things like that fundamentals are a thing of the past. I think there's a bit of balance there. Yes, the development of fundamentals can be done in different ways, but
Yeah,
the Spanish have a really great approach to it in that up until the age of 12, everything's about ball handling. Everything's about being comfortable with the ball, because if you're comfortable with the ball, everything's easy. If I'm running an offense that involves off ball screens or ball screens and the player can't get the ball to the spot and make the pass or use the dribble then what's the point in the tactics? The level of, you're trying to find that balance between individual tactics, the reading of that individual player, the decision making of an individual player within a scenario, and the level of technical skill that's required to execute that. Trying to find the right balance of that with your team at the stage they're at, plus then the team tactics that are over and above that. But I spend a lot of time on the individual decision making work with younger players, and a big part of that is, I think, particularly with more so in my experience with female players, they don't watch as much basketball as maybe in the past. Maybe people watch highlights more now than watch full games. Or
yeah,
I think watching basketball as a coach helped me a lot. Bart Sengers in Edinburgh was the first one to say to me, you've just got to go and watch loads of high level basketball, and then you'll start to see stuff more and more,
yes,
and it will help you understand the game better. And now all of a sudden, oh yeah, it's that. It's just that. And you'll understand different things that are going on in the game. Then you've got to break that team tactical thing down to the individual decision making that's required for it to work, in terms of how you set up a screen, how you dribble the ball to be able to make the pass. And there's an element of players having to figure that out for themselves. And if they're
yeah,
watching enough basketball, they can figure that out for themselves. But if they're not watching much basketball, then it's hard for them to find the solutions, right? It's been said that across education, a move towards more problem-based learning is important. But what helps you solve problems? Knowledge helps you solve problems.
true,
So there is still a need to have knowledge, right? And you're a teacher, you probably know this better than I do.
yeah,
But so it's about, how much knowledge do I need to impart as a coach to the players, and how do I impart that? Do I impart that by individual skills practice, or do I impart it by sharing a video, or do I impart it by, talking them through something? And there's a bit of trial and error in that, but you have to recognize that within any, let's say, for example, you take a floppy action in basketball, off ball screens. Well, first thing, can we get the ball to the middle of the floor so that we open up both options? Have we got the ball handling ability to get there? What does that ball handler need to do? Now I need to be able to read two players at one time. Can we do that straight away, or do we have to break it down where they're just doing part of it, where it's just one side? And
yeah,
I'm reading, are they curling? Are they flaring? Are they going straight? What's my defender doing? What's the screener's defender doing? So you could think about, this is just like one off-ball screen,
yeah,
and there are so many variables within that. But if you've got a degree of knowledge of, I've got different ways I can handle the ball and different ways I can pass the ball, and I know where to look and what I'm looking for, this part of it is hugely important. And I think it maybe gets missed. A lot of, in the past, my experience was you did the skills training and then you jumped to the team tactics. Now I spend a lot more time on the breakdowns of what are the individual tactics that are required. And we'll do a lot of 2v2 and 3v3 stuff in practice, 2v1s, 3v2 stuff, just to try and help people see the problem and make a decision. Now, I heard it said before, our job is, as a coach, is to give players options. That might be by showing them a professional player doing the thing that we're trying to do. It
yeah,
might be by taking them through some V0 drills that helps them to feel comfortable with the ball to do that. There are different ways that work different with different players.